When examining the mainstream portrayal of history, particularly the story of dinosaurs, a deeper layer begins to emerge, one that subtly shapes collective beliefs about life, nature, and human identity. The popular dinosaur narrative paints a picture of a world ruled by instinct, chaos, and violence, survival of the fittest, eat or be eaten, a brutal, competitive existence devoid of meaning or spiritual order. This worldview, when absorbed early and often, forms a psychological foundation where people begin to see reality as cold, random, and meaningless. From this foundation grows a belief: life is harsh, nature is unforgiving, and peace is unnatural. In this framework, there is no room for spiritual evolution, higher consciousness, or divine harmony. It becomes easier to accept systems of control that mirror this philosophy: competition, dominance, and fear-driven survival. But what if this story isn't the whole truth? What if the idea of dinosaurs as the apex of primal life is a curated myth, a symbolic veil covering a different version of history? One where ancient civilizations, higher consciousness, and spiritual balance played a far greater role than we're led to believe. There's reason to consider that ancient life may not have been so mindlessly brutal. Perhaps the symbols, fossils, and tales of dinosaurs are fragments of a deeper spiritual language, one that has been distorted over time. Some of what we accept as scientific consensus may instead serve as a lens to keep society tethered to a materialistic worldview. Imagine evolution not as a biological ladder, but as a progression of awareness through dimensions of experience. What if so-called dinosaurs were manifestations of consciousness in a denser vibrational state, primal, instinctual, and deeply connected to the physical world? And what if humanity represents the next step, beings awakening to the layers beyond survival into creativity, empathy, and spirit? In this model, consciousness evolves across dimensions. Low-frequency states represent survival, dominance, and instinct. Higher frequencies allow self-awareness, connection, and transcendence. Future evolution may lead to a collective awakening, where spiritual truth overrides physical illusion. Some systems, however, seem invested in keeping people locked in the lower states. Through fear, entertainment, education, and even science, individuals are nudged toward admiring power over peace, instinct over wisdom, and chaos over harmony. Media plays a key role in this programming. Dinosaurs are glorified, majestic, powerful, cool. Children are surrounded by images of them from an early age. Movies like Jurassic Park don't just tell stories, they shape mythologies. They celebrate genetic manipulation, human hubris, and the resurrection of primal forces, normalizing the idea of playing God. But why celebrate creatures that embody raw, unthinking aggression? Perhaps because doing so normalizes the very values that stall human spiritual growth. When the past is portrayed as monstrous and the present as meaningless, people lose connection to their deeper nature. They stop seeking peace and instead seek power. They stop asking questions and instead accept systems as they are. If the story of dinosaurs is symbolic, perhaps even fictionalized or misrepresented, then what else might have been rewritten? What if ancient civilizations held spiritual truths that have since been erased? What if humanity once lived in balance with higher laws, and that memory has been deliberately buried? This isn't just about fossils or timelines. It's about consciousness, about reclaiming the understanding that humanity is on a journey not from the jungle to the city, but from lower states of being to higher ones, from fear to love, from confusion to awareness. The key question becomes, are we evolving into beings of higher consciousness, or are we being guided to remain asleep in lower forms of identity? By questioning the narratives we're given, especially those about the distant past, we begin to reshape the way we see ourselves. And in doing so, we may find that the real story of Earth is not about monsters ruling the land, but about spirit learning to rise above them.